Hello, everybody. This is Dee from Dee's Cute and Crafty, and I'm back with another video for you today. I have, as usual, three quick and easy decor pieces for you. We're still celebrating fall, but after this, we're going to have to jump into Christmas. I know it seems early, but I don't know. I don't know that you could ever be too early. So, anyway, I digress. Let's jump in. I will be using these permanent markers that I got from Amazon. These are Milwaukee Inkzall, Inkzall. And they are supposed to be wonderful for writing on everything: wood, concrete, plastic, glass, and metal. So we're going to see how they do. I have some Dollar Tree ribbon and Dollar Tree black and orange twine, some more Dollar Tree ribbon, just that little scrap of black and neutral colored chevron. I've got a lot of embellishments. I'm not going to use them all, but I just pulled out everything from my stash, from pumpkins to little pit berries to some mesh tubing to even a mesh bag. So I'll be using bits and pieces of that. I have one of the Dollar Tree orange pumpkins, and I already put my face on it, and now I'm just cleaning it up a little bit. And I used a regular Sharpie, but now I'm going in with my new markers and just cleaning it up a little bit more. And I have a piece of cardboard that you see sitting on my table that I've cut in a circle, and I cut the little square out in the top so that we can place it on top of this pumpkin. We are going to be making a really cute little pumpkin wearing a witch hat. So now that I've cleaned the face up and got it the way that I want it, I'm going to go in with my Hello Hobby black chalk paint, and I'm going to paint my cardboard piece. You can paint both sides if you want. I just painted the one side that would be showing. But if somebody picks it up and looks underneath, of course, they would see that the underside of that hat was still the original cardboard color. You guys do what you want. I have this piece of fabric from a Dollar Tree witch hat. It's the very, very tip of the witch hat. It was a huge one. So I just cut the top of it off, the comb part of it off, because that's all I needed for this DIY. And I'm stuffing it with some batting, and I'm cutting in those little like hash marks or slashes that you need to cut into anything round that you want to sit flat so that it flattens out nicely for you. So I'm going to take some hot glue, and I'm going to hot glue around the brim of that witch hat and set that top cone piece right down into that hot glue. You guys, thank you so much for joining me for this video today. I'm so blessed and happy to have you here. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. To all my ride or dies that have been with me for a while, thank you, and thank you, thank you, thank you for coming back. And to all my new subscribers, thank you as well for becoming part of the Cute and Crafty family. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. So I am going in with my twine, this black and orange twine that I picked up at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to just give it a couple of very loose loops around the hat and just putting a small dab of hot glue down because you don't want a big clump of glue on the outside of your hat. So I'm trying to just put a small dab here and there to secure this twine down. And now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and add some hot glue to the top of the pumpkin. If you have a glue gun with a low temp setting, always try to use that on styrofoam so that it doesn't completely melt your styrofoam and mess up your DIY. So I'm just going to add that on there, get my hat placed, and I'm going to take one of these spider rings from the Dollar Tree. I opted to use the orange instead of the purple. I'm just going to cut off that ring piece and take some 22 gauge or either 24 gauge, I'm not sure. But this is the paddle wire that you can get from Dollar Tree. I'm going to wrap that around the spider several times so that I can then tuck this into the tip of that hat, add a little bit of hot glue and pinch it together so that my spider hangs down from my witch's hat. And I love that I use the wire because it's very posable. You can have it hang however you want. Just cutting off the little excess glue that's sitting at the top of the hat. And now we're going to get into the fun part. I am just going to embellish this with all kinds of cute, fun things. You guys saw the ribbon and the deco mesh, the flowers, the pumpkins, anything in your stash that you want to use is perfect for this DIY. And some of the things I pulled out, I'm not going to use, but I just pulled out everything. And whatever seemed like it would look good, that's what I did. So I'm taking the Dollar Tree ribbon and I'm just making a couple of loops and I'm securing them with the silver paddle wire, and I'm going to glue them down to the side of the hat. We're going to go opposite the side of the spider because the spider is the decor or the center of attraction, so to speak, on the other side of the hat. So you don't want anything covering that up. So we're going to make the other side, the opposite side of the hat, our heavy decorative side. It balances out nicely, actually. The spider deserves its own spot. I pulled some black flowers out of my stash. I went back in and got some of the little orange mums and these beautiful yellow flowers. I got those from Hobby Lobby. My other flowers came from Dollar Tree. And I'm just kind of tucking this yellow flower down into the ribbon. I'm going to sit it there. I'm not gluing it just yet. I just want to see how it looks to me sitting there like that. And I'll go back in and cut it down and hot glue it in. I want to add some of these little orange mums over here underneath the spider on the brim of the hat, but that's it. I'm not going to put anything else on that side, and I'm going to work on building up the opposite side and just really making it really cute. I love this one, you guys. It's simple and it was fun to do. You guys, as always, comment down below. Let me know which one is your favorite of the three that I'm bringing to you today. Here is finished DIY number 1, and I think it is adorable. You guys, don't forget to give this video a big fat thumbs up. That lets YouTube know you're enjoying my content. It helps me stay in the algorithm, and it helps them to share my video out a little bit more so that others can see it and possibly join the Cute and Crafty family as well. Thank you so much. Moving on to DIY number 2, I'll be using these pumpkins from Dollar Tree. I have my Hello Hobby in Sage, my Rust-Oleum chiffon cream, a few twigs. I have some ribbon from Dollar Tree and also from Joann Fabrics. Be using a little bit of moss. I will be using my paper stencil, and I got this from the Target Hotspot, and one of the Dollar Tree Easter signs. So I am going to leave that hanger on because we're going to use it. I am going to go in with my Rust-Oleum chiffon cream and give this sign a good coat of paint. And then I'm going to tape down my paper stencil, and I'm just going to trace with the pencil the lettering that I want from this stencil. On these paper stencils, I do not use paint because then you'd have to throw it away. It would just be a once and done. But if you use pencil, it'll last longer because it's not getting wet all the time from paint because it is just paper. So that's how I'm going to use these so that I can keep them a lot longer. Now I've got the wording traced down onto my sign. I'm going in with my orange Sharpie or orange marker. It's not really Sharpie. And I'm just going to go over that lettering. This one was relaxing, easy, and fun to do. I cannot speak today. I don't even know why. I'm going to put down a piece of paper towel because that way I won't smudge the lettering underneath my arm. Now I'm going to go in with my new Milwaukee ink saw Sharpie. And you guys, at first, honestly, I didn't see anything super fantastic about this marker. It was skipping. It was drying out just like any other marker after they, said on the packaging that it would write through anything. And as I kept using it and using it, it actually got better. So I'm kind of still on the fence, but I think I like it. Anyway, I'm going to take my green pumpkin and cut it in half, and then I'm going in with my scissors, and I'm just going to trim around the edge of it to make everything nice and even so that the pumpkin sits flat. And then I'm going to just rub off or, you know, scoop off. I really am just rubbing it off with my hand. That extra styrofoam that's kind of loose, because I don't want that to cause my pumpkin not to stick. If the styrofoam is loose and you just hot glue that down, then the pumpkin's going to fall off. So I just kind of brushed off the excess styrofoam before I glue this to this sign. So I'm going in, I'm also putting a notch in the top of the pumpkin to give my little twig somewhere to like nestle down inside and sit so that everything sits flat and everything sticks to the sign. You guys, I could craft for fall all year round. I absolutely love it that much, but I know I've got to move on to Christmas. And when I get on my Christmas crafting, I'll feel the same way, that I could craft for Christmas all year round because I absolutely love it. So now that I've got my pumpkins and my little stems all glued down, I'm going to go in with little pieces of moss, little bundles, and just tuck them in around those pumpkins. So they look like they're sitting in a patch, although I know the patch is full of green leaves, not dried up Spanish moss, but it looks rustic and I like it. Now I'm just going to give this a little trim. And now I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to make a bow for the top of the sign. And you guys know I love to make my loops and then stack them and then add my dovetail pieces of ribbon on, pinch them together and tie them with some jute twine. And that's how I make my bows, the same way every time. I also dug around in my stash and I found this really pretty orange and green kind of muted greenery. I don't know if this is eucalyptus. I'm not sure what this is. I do think it's eucalyptus, and it came from Hobby Lobby. And I've had it in my stash for at least a year or more. I took a couple pieces of that off, tucked it down underneath that bow, and I'm just tying it all together with the jute twine. Now I'm going to take my hot glue gun and just add a dab of hot glue to the end of the twine so that it stiffens up and it's easier to thread through the little holes that I've put at the top of my sign. I love to tie my bows and my greenery onto my signs if I can, just to keep from using so much hot glue. And this way I know that it's secure. It's not going to fall off because glue melted or something like that. If it sat in the sun, it's tied on, so it's on until you cut it off. Now I'm just fussing around and fluffing out my bow. You can either paint the back black or you can try to pull that paper off. Whenever there's glitter, I don't even bother. Or you can cover it in some craft paper. And that is the best option, I feel, is to cover it in some brown craft paper. I'm just going to go ahead and cut some new dovetails into the end of the ribbon because it's a little bit long and I don't want it to cover up my lettering. So I'm just going to trim it up a little bit. Here's finished DIY number 2. This one came out really nice. I love the simplicity of it. It is so cute. I hope you guys like it. Moving on to DIY number 3 and the last one of the video. You guys, I have this brown packing paper. Dying to use it, so I'm going to. I have some ribbon. I'm not sure where that came from. And I have this pumpkin wire wreath form. I have a ton of these. And I'm thinking, what else can I make with this? And typically, I usually just make a really cute sweater pumpkin or a pumpkin covered in fabric or something like this, and or something like that. And this is what I was going to do. I was just going to do a neutral one with this brown packing paper, but it took a turn. It did. So here we go. I am starting out with this brown packing paper that I've had in my stash forever. I didn't throw it away because I knew I could do something with it at some point. If nothing else, cover back of my signs. But this is what we're going to do. So I am taking it and I'm wrapping it around the wreath form and I'm hot gluing paper to paper. I'm not putting hot glue on the wire. I'm going paper to paper. And then once I fold it over and stick the glue, the paper together, as you can see, I'm just scrunching it up. But this was supposed to be a neutral pumpkin with white flowers at the top, and that was going to be it. But yeah, I don't know why it took a turn, but it did. And I don't mind it because I love it. It is hanging on my front door right now. I love that it is so huge, and it is my favorite of the 3. We're going to make a jack-o'-lantern, a huge one, and it's super cute. So when you get to the um, crossbar pieces, all I did was just tear the paper and go around it when I was gluing the edges of that paper. So now I'm taking my long pieces of packing paper. You can use paper bag if you don't have packing paper, or if you have a paper that you think is really pretty that you don't mind using a lot of, you can do that. And now I'm just doing the same thing. I am gluing it paper to paper onto my wire and then scrunching it. You can turn it over so that your scrunched pieces are the pieces that show on top of the pumpkin. I prefer to turn mine the other way so that the top pieces look like ruching because I thought that was really pretty. Even Howard said this one was kind of cool and he thought it looked more farmhouse to him. And it does. It does have a farmhouse vibe, but you guys know I love it. So we're just going to go through and do this on every single one of those wire pieces. Just going to glue paper to paper and then scrunch it. So while that's sitting to the side, I'm going to take some black felt and I'm just going to make a big jagged jack-o'-lantern mouth and get that cut out. So before securing my felt to the actual wire pumpkin, I'm going to take some cardboard and trace out the mouth and then hot glue it to the cardboard because I want it to be stiffer. You guys remember those little sock toe pieces from my previous video. I kept those. I had to keep them. I knew I could do something with them. So here they are. I didn't have enough felt to do the eyes and the nose. So I knew I had those black sock pieces. So I took some cardboard and I made my triangles for the eyes and the nose. And I'm taking this black sock and I'm covering up that triangle just to give it some texture. That fabric added a nice touch to it, and I like it. You could just paint it black if you don't have any felt or fabric to cover it with, but I always try to use everything I have, and so I'm going to use these black toe pieces, these black sock toe pieces. I'm trimming them down a little bit to cut down the bulk so that they lay flat, and I'm just going to hot glue them to the paper. I really like how big this is. And it kind of looks a little spooky, but not super spooky. I think it's just the how big it is and the coloring of it that makes it look a little spooky. But I like it. I like it so much. So I'm going to take this twine. I did take some of that craft paper, that packing paper, and wrap around the stem. And I'm going to take some twine and wrap it around the stem. And I'm doing that more for the flowers that I'm going to tuck in than anything else because I can tuck the flowers into that twine and then glue it. It makes it a little more secure, at least it does to me. So I'm going to take this really cute checkered ribbon in black and tan, and I'm going to make my bow. I'm taking this black and tan chevron, using that as well, stacking those loops like I like to do, and then tying it off with some jute cord or jute twine, whichever. Now I'm going to just see how I'm tucking those black flowers. I pulled those out of my stash. I was supposed to use white flowers, the white or the cream sunflowers, but I told you this thing took a turn. So this is what it is now. So I'm just tucking in my black flowers into that jute twine. And I'm going to take my last flower and just sit it right in the middle of that bow. I'm going to hot glue everything down. And then actually, I didn't hot glue everything down. I tied that bow on and then I hot glued that last flower in the center of the bow. And then what you don't see here is because I was just going with it. I took some of the white flowers, I did go back and get them, and I put them at the top with the black flowers. You'll see that in the reveal because I felt like it needed to be more substantial on top because the pumpkin was so big. It seemed like the bow and the flowers just weren't enough. So I added some white flowers to lighten it up, brighten it up, and make it look a little less spooky. Yeah, to make it look a little less spooky. And here it is, you guys. I think it came out so cute and fun. It's huge and it is on my front door. And I love how big it is because you can see it from the street when I'm driving up to my driveway. It's like right there in your face. And I love it. It is my favorite of the three. It just is. I love the rustic look. I love the texture. I love how big it is. Everything. So here is the final reveal of everything I've made for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I truly enjoyed creating these for you guys. Don't forget, give this video a big fat thumbs up, like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you feel about the DIYs. And just know my next video, we're moving on into Christmas. I'm super excited about it, and I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for being here today. You guys, as always, be blessed. Stay safe. And until I see you in my next one, craft something beautiful today, you guys. Bye.